My name's Carlos Garza, and this is my
And
wife,
mom,
Ale.
Alejandro Diaz. When these girls were born, they were preemies, so they were born at 29 weeks.
It was a surprise. We were just going on for a regular routine, appointment to see how they were doing, how they were growing, and the nurse surprised us and told us, "Are you ready? Do you have everything at home?" And ready, and we're like, "Well, sort of." Well, because you're gonna deliver right now at 29 weeks.
So baby B, which is Avi, she was very small. She was 1 pound 9 ounce when she was born. Sister was 3 pounds, so Avi had to stay roughly 3 months in the NICU. And everybody would tell me, like, once we walk into the NICU, we hear a baby cry, we know it's Avi. We know Avi's cry. So it got to the point where she had like a reputation in the NICU. So we kind of knew that something was different about her, but we weren't too sure. So when we got discharged, we had to follow up with all her doctors. And that's when we learned that she had narrowing in her pulmonary arteries and her aorta. So we drove to Corpus in February, not even a month after she was discharged from the hospital, and we were told she needed open heart surgery. So we drove home, we went back, she had open heart surgery. It was a successful surgery. Well, apparently 2 weeks after her open heart surgery, she still had narrowing.
But this time in a different area, in her aorta.
Her aorta. So now I'm like, whoa, what? I mean, she just went through a surgery and now they're telling me she needs another intervention. So we were closely monitoring her with her cardiologist every 2 weeks. So in March, one evening, about 3 weeks after we got home, I was feeding her and I handed her over to Dad, and I was gonna go bathe, and it was at night. And immediately Dad comes crying to me that she aspirated and she accidentally swallowed some of her milk. She was pretty not breathing, like barely breathing. So we called an ambulance. So they call her cardiologist and they tell me that the narrowing is so severe that her heart is failing. And we had just gotten home from her open heart surgery 3 weeks ago. So I'm like, how does this, we couldn't understand what was going on. We didn't have a diagnosis on her yet. She had a FISH test done, which is a genetics testing. We were waiting the results. They take 6 weeks. So they flew us to Driscoll, and upon arrival, they asked, okay, so we have patient Avi Garza, Williams syndrome, and I'm just like, what? Like I wasn't aware. I hadn't received her diagnosis. We started Googling, and I'm like, we saw pictures, and immediately he's like,
We recognized it.
that's Avi. Like, look at Avi's baby picture on the internet. Like, we couldn't tell her features. So that's where we learned why she is so behind in everything that she is, because she was diagnosed with Williams syndrome.
Uno, deditos, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Very nice. Let's try the other side.
We love the therapies that we get through ECI because, one, I'm able to do them at home. At first I was a little skeptical about the home with the camera and doing the telehealth, but I've come to like it. It's my time that I get to spend with Avi and work exactly on areas that I know that she needs. At the beginning, they would come in person. We got to meet Sonia, her OT, and Jennifer, her speech. They came in person before COVID, and then she was hospitalized. So by the time we came back, COVID was in full effect. And then we were told it's just going to be telehealth. So I didn't know that it was going to be so structured and so planned, which I do love that, because it's not like you go to the doctors and they tell you be there at 3 and they don't see you till 4. No, these therapies are very punctual. So if I knew that I had therapy at 3, I was prepared to start therapy at 3. So Avi currently receives speech therapy and occupational therapy, and then we added physical therapy probably about 6 or 8 months ago. But she receives all 3 through ECI. That even when we were hospitalized, they were constantly checking up on us, and it was hard. It was hard to even make time to do the therapy. So she was very helpful in trying to find every resource that would be able to help us in the situations that we were going through as we kept moving forward.
Avi, there's a ton of things that she loves. Music, singing, my goofy dances. Like she's
dancing
Yeah,
and
that's the
music.
main
That
thing.
is her favorite. Ari loves reading. Her sister, books. Any book. Get a book. Or a ball. She loves throwing the ball. Of course, playing with dad. They both love jumping on top of dad. As a first-time parent, for sure, more than anything, we don't know what we're doing, and we have our parents, but going through ECI has felt more personal for us to learn new ways, and we're young, and we want to be getting the most innovative things and trying to different things that can help her, but there's so much more out there that we wouldn't know, or we wouldn't have any idea like where to start if it wasn't for some sort of guidance at the beginning.